Time for us to receive our final guest before we head over to the newsroom. The CAFU Policy Institute, a think tank of the Dennis and Leonora Ferretia Foundation, carried out research on regional integration, governance, women entrepreneurship and financing in 11 countries. Here to get us briefly acquainted with what they found, we have Ayukmba Kongonyo. He is a senior communications manager at the Dennis and Leonora Ferretia Foundation. Good morning to you.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on Cameroon Feeling.
Yes, we are glad to hear what you found out from your research, from the work you did. But first off, we would like to establish the current socioeconomic situation in Central Africa.
Thank you for this very pertinent question. Like you rightly put it, we are the CAFU Policy Institute, a think tank of the Dennis and Leonora Ferretia Foundation. And basically what we do, if you may give me the permission to introduce who we are, we carry on research to inform decision making so that decisions that are taken can be evidence-based actually, and impact the livelihood of the populations on a daily basis. So that's what we do basically on a daily basis. Now, what is the socioeconomic picture of Central Africa? I must say here that the Central Africa we are referring to is not just the CIMAC, it's the ECAS. Okay, made up of 11 countries, like you said. That is the CIMAC plus the other 5 countries, including Angola, Sao Tome and Principe, Burundi, Rwanda, the other 5 countries, actually. So we carry on a couple of research around the region and came out with some findings, which that's why we are here to disseminate and reveal to the population and to policy and decision makers what these findings are. When you're talking about a Central Africa region, actually, it's difficult to finish talking of Central Africa without revealing some very peculiar features about the region. First of it is, like you mentioned, we talked about regional. We found a couple of results about regional integration. And we noticed that within the region, out of all the 5 sub-regions in Africa, regional integration in Central Africa, it's lagging behind. It's actually one of the lowest.
Why?
Okay. Of course, it's one of the lowest because there are challenges in implementing the policies that are made within Central Africa. If you take the example of the free movement of persons and goods, you'll notice that despite the fact that you have if we refer to CIMAC, you have the CIMAC passport, it's still very difficult for people to move around. You see, have some countries who require you to have a visa. Okay. Yes. Meanwhile, you are in the same region, the same sub-region. They require you to have a visa before you are able to get into those countries. You have situations where it's not easy for you to ship goods from one country in Central Africa to the other because there are a lot of bureaucratic bottlenecks. Okay, so for all these reasons, it's not easy. The regional integration level in Central Africa is still very low. So that's one of the findings or one of the results of our research.
Not to cut you short, I'm a woman, and there's another woman staring from that end, and I want to find out what are some of the challenges you discovered that female entrepreneurs face.
Yeah, talking about female entrepreneurship, what I should underscore here is that in the first place, women represent the majority in Central Africa.
Good.
Okay, women contribute 7 to 9% to the GDP in Central Africa, which is roughly about $200 billion in the GDP. But then we notice that it's difficult for women who are mostly active in the agricultural sector, who own 37% of businesses within the region. It's difficult for them to access financing. Okay, because when you go to a financial institution, for instance, as a woman, an entrepreneur, and you want a loan, they will ask you to go get authorization from your husband. That's if you're married, for instance. There are some of these policies that actually impede the development of women entrepreneurship. You also have cultural ties. Okay, you very well know that in our cultural ties in some countries, like you may want to cite the case of Burundi, and in some other parts of Cameroon, women do not inherit. Okay, they don't have access to land. Land ownership is very difficult, and we all know that when you go to a financial institution to request for a loan, one of the guarantee collaterals they will ask from you is to show a land title. And it becomes very difficult to women if they are not able to access financing to actually develop their businesses. So,
but I know that beyond this research, there are possible solutions you suggest.
Definitely.
In this instance, what would it be?
In this instance, one of the things we want to suggest as far as women entrepreneurship is concerned is that some of these policies should be purely and simply eradicated by decision makers, policy makers. Women should be actually able to access land, to own land. Women should be able to access financing, and some of these cultural ties that keep the women at the second fiddle role, like in the house, they are only meant to cook foods and take care of the children. The famous care work, unpaid care work, which women are victims of, should actually be addressed squarely.
Now, if people want to read more, because we have to head over to the newsroom, where can they do so?
Okay, if people want to read more, I would like to invite them to our website, www.nkafu.org, or we also have social media handles. All they need to do is just to log in Foretia Foundation, and they'll stumble on our social media handle. Or better still, because we are also educating, we'll be having, with your permission, a roundtable conference come June 20 at Mansell Hotel to discuss these challenges about women empowerment, which will be at the core.
Before June, we'll be reminding them. Don't worry about
Thank you
that.
very much.
But congratulations to the Dennis and Lenora Foretia Foundation. You're doing a great job. Right now, we're going to head over to the newsroom immediately after. Some great music and some cooking will be happening here.